I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump just gave an interview with Newsmax and spread his lies, just showed how deranged and desperate he was. Then the Newsmax host, Eric Bolling, had to go on after and say, we just want to let you know that we accept the results of the 2020 election after Donald Trump gave the interview because they know they could be sued again as a result of Trump's conduct. I want to show you Donald Trump's statements, and then I want to compare it, though, to right around the same time what Donald Trump's own former White House lawyer Ty Cobb was saying, and what one of Donald Trump's former closest advisors and now one of the candidates for the Republican nomination for the presidency, Chris Christie, is saying about Donald Trump. Let's get into it, folks. So Donald Trump, in the ultimate form of projection, says of special counsel Jack Smith the following. Play the clip.
The next question, Jack Smith.
Yeah.
Biden gets Merrick Garland to get Jack Smith to do these investigations of you.
Deranged. He's like a deranged human being.
Well,
I watch this guy.
What's his motivation?
I think he's just a sick guy. He destroyed the lives of many people. He was overturned unanimously in the Supreme Court. I believe he's 0-5. In other words, he takes it to the end. He was involved with the IRS scandal, the big Lois Lerner IRS. That was him. That was his baby, where the government had to end up paying money, damages, and apologies all over the place, where they went after Christians and they went after incredible people. Jack Smith, he's like a deranged individual. And I think we're doing very well with that guy, but he's a sick puppy. And you know, you look at the boxes. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do everything that you see. Biden didn't. Biden's got 1,850 boxes. He's got boxes in Chinatown. Now, here's a...
Want to see how scared, deranged Donald Trump is? Here, Donald Trump is, they talk about how President Biden was visited by President Obama and said, you guys are taking Trump too lightly. Look at Donald Trump's response. Play the clip.
President Obama visited Joe Biden a couple of weeks ago and said, be wary of Donald Trump. You guys are taking it too lightly, taking him too lightly. What are your thoughts on Obama?
Well, he's not taking it too lightly. He indicted me 3 or 4 times. I haven't checked. By the time I walk out, they'll probably indict me. Indicting, when I went to the great Wharton School of Finance, we didn't have a course on indictments and, you know, all of the things that go with the indictment stuff. No, he's not taking it not seriously. He's probably taking it more seriously than any candidate in history because he has the Justice Department that he said he was going to do. If you look back 2 years, he made a statement that we will stop Donald Trump. Then he goes, constitutionally. He doesn't even know what the Constitution is. The guy can't put together 2 sentences. He can't talk. Every time I watch him talk, it's almost like he's walking on eggs. You wonder, is he going to get through the sentence?
Here, one of the new MAGA Republican talking points in attacking Fulton County District Attorney as she's about to indict Donald Trump is to attack her so viciously and personally and to attack her. I'll let you watch it. Play this, then I'll show you something else. So play this clip.
People know next week.
Fani Willis, the prosecutor in Georgia, they're setting up barricades outside the Georgia.
Terrible.
They're in preparation, obviously, I would assume, for an indictment. What are your thoughts of her? Because there's some discussion that she may have some questionable background. There's some, her father may or may not have been in Black Panther. I think that was discussed. She's had perhaps incorrect relationships with some of the people, some of the gang members that she's also prosecuting right now. Can she give you a fair shake?
No, of course not. Look, I don't think the people of Georgia, where I did very well, and I won it the first time, and I won it, I think, by much more the second time. I can say that about the whole election, too. I don't think they'd stand for it. This woman is not a capable woman. She's a woman that has, and maybe she'll change her mind. And I don't know what she's doing. I really don't know. All I know is she could have done it 2.5 years ago if she was going to do something. And this is about a perfect phone call, a call where I'm questioning the election. I'm telling them that, in my opinion, the election was rigged. And they're saying that I did something incorrect. I didn't do anything wrong. I believe I won that election by many, many votes, many, many hundreds of thousands of votes. That's what I think. And I expressed that on the phone call. And I said, I don't know what the number was, like 11,000 or something. I said, what I need is 11,000 votes. I won this thing by hundreds of thousands of votes. That's my opinion, and it's a strong opinion. And I think it's borne out by the facts, and we'll see that. But she wants to do something on a perfect phone call. This call, I say, was more perfect than my call with Ukraine, which turned out to be a hell of a lot better than people even thought, because I was right about Ukraine. When I said you should look into and take a look at Biden, I called to congratulate Zelensky, nice guy. I call and I get along great with him. I get along great with Putin, and frankly, I'll have something worked out within literally 24 hours. I will get.
And what the MAGA Republicans are pushing is just so despicable. This is what Donald Trump said in New Hampshire about Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, and this is what they're referencing in these softball interviews. Here, play this clip of Donald Trump in New Hampshire.
They waited, and I probably have another one. They say there's a young woman. A young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist. And they say, I guess, they say that she was after a certain gang, and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office. What's going on in this country is, and by the way, wants to indict me for a perfect phone call. This was even better than my perfect call with Ukraine. Remember?
Okay, this is the new line that the MAGA Republicans and Trump are saying. He goes, okay, we just got subpoena power. So now they say they're going to prove that the 2020 election was stolen. Again, more deranged conspiracies coming from them. Despicable lies. They say that. And then we're going to subpoena the January 6th committee. One of the things they say is the January 6th committee's destroyed and deleted all of the documents. Again, just like it's just a total lie. Everything they say is a lie. 17 audio recordings of Biden, those don't exist. A whistleblower, the whistleblower's dead. Another whistleblower, the whistleblower's missing. Another whistleblower, the whistleblower's a spy of China. Another whistleblower, the whistleblower is an oligarch. Russia is Putin's oligarch. You can't make this stuff up here. Play this clip.
They're doing this type of thing, and you're answering indictments and arraignments.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, it really is incredible. And I'm answering them not for that. I'm answering because I question an election. Not only question, I totally dispute that election. I think it's ridiculous what happened, and that they allowed that to happen, and that the media doesn't want anybody to talk about it. But now we can. And we did something yesterday. You know, now that we have the subpoena power, because we now have subpoena power, all of a sudden the J6 committee, the unselects, I call them, everything was deleted and destroyed. The documents, everything was deleted and destroyed. That's a criminal act. So all of that stuff, all of that nonsense you watched for a year and a half go on with all Democrats and two so-called Republicans, but they were worse than any of the Democrats, Kinzinger and Cheney. It's all been deleted and gotten rid of. They deleted it because they didn't want anybody to see it, because the real answers were there, but they didn't want to report it. That's incredible. And
60% of U.S. pork production comes from one company owned by China. And their hogs, they're given something called ractopamine, which is banned in 160 countries, including China. Yet you find this in your grocery store aisle every day. There's a better way. I'd like to tell you about Moink. That's moo plus oink. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, and sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers, they farm like our grandparents did. And as a result, Moink meat tastes like it should, because the family farm, it does it better. The Moink difference is a difference you can taste, and you can feel good knowing that you're helping family farms stay financially independent too. I love that Moink is helping save rural America, and I know that you will too. Join the Moink movement today. Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary called Moink's bacon the best bacon he's ever tasted. And Ring Doorbell founder Jamie Siminoff jumped at the chance to invest in Moink. Plus, they guarantee you'll say, oink, oink, I'm just so happy I got moinked. And I know I do, and I know you will too. Keep American farming going by signing up right now at moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch. Right now, and listeners of this show get free bacon in your first box. It's the best bacon you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. Spelled MOINK box.com/MeidasTouch. That's moinkbox.com/MeidasTouch.
Okay, here Donald Trump talks about, again, this is like the xenophobic attack on Biden, talks about hiding documents in Chinatown. Nothing that he's saying is true. It just, like, everything Trump is saying is just completely fabrication, just total lie. Play the clip.
I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do everything that you see. Biden didn't. Biden's got 1,850 boxes. He's got boxes in Chinatown. Now, here's a guy getting money from China, and he's got boxes in Chinatown. That's big stuff. He's got boxes at Penn, totally unsecure, and he's got boxes under his Corvette, right behind his Corvette, sitting on a wet garage floor, classified documents. I never hear anything about that. It's a rigged system. It's a corrupt country. We're living in a very corrupt country. And
here, Donald Trump is whining about he doesn't want to debate. By the way, he doesn't want to debate because he's afraid of Chris Christie. More on that in just a moment, but play this clip.
I mean, I have a problem with the debate for another reason. I wouldn't sign the pledge. Why would I sign a pledge? There are people on there that I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have certain people as, somebody that I'd endorse. So they want you to sign a pledge. But I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem, okay? Right there's a problem.
And here, after the interview concludes, Eric Bolling, the interviewer, has to go on and give a disclaimer that says that Newsmax accepts that the election results are legal and final. Here, play this clip.
Well, we thank you. The American people thank you. I thank you, Newsmax.
Thank you. And great job, great success. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. All right, folks, now just a note, Newsmax has accepted the election results as legal and final.
All right, I said we were going to show you the Chris Christie clip. Donald Trump is so afraid to debate former governor of New Jersey, Republican Chris Christie. Here's what Chris Christie had to say on Fox at the same time Donald Trump was giving that interview about Trump. Play the clip.
But your feelings about Donald Trump as a person, as a candidate, as a president, have evolved quite significantly over time.
Sure. He's left me. And, this is not the guy that I've known all those years. In fact, when he decided on election night 2020, Brett, to say the election was stolen, when we now know, I know, and any objective person knows the election was not stolen. When he stood behind the seal of the President of the United States in the East Room of the White House and said that was it for me. You cannot undermine the American people's faith in democracy because your ego is hurt, because you're the first person to ever lose to Joe Biden outside the state of Delaware. I understand that must hurt to lose to somebody as feeble and incompetent as Joe Biden, but he did. And if we nominate him this time, he will again. He's left me, Brett. And that's why I need to stand up and make sure the truth is told about this. And quite frankly, I don't understand why my other colleagues in this race are not saying it, except that either they're unwilling or too scared to do it. I'm neither. And I'll be there 2 weeks from tonight with you and Martha to make this case and the case for why Christie presidency is the right one for America.
Now let's hear from Trump's former White House lawyer, the top former White House lawyer under the Trump administration, Ty Cobb. Here is what he had to say about Donald Trump's defense that threatening people to overturn the results of the election was just aspirational. It was an aspirational ask. Play the clip.
He asked in an aspirational way. He went on to say, asking is not speech. It's not action. That's the heart of this, right? Speech versus action. Does that defense fly here?
Not at all. I'm not aware of the aspirational defense or the free speech defense to a gang leader saying to 2 of his subordinates, I need you two to please rob a bank for me, and they do it. That's aspirational, but it leads to a crime. And that's exactly what Trump did with Pence.
Folks, I didn't want to only show you the Trump interview. It's so disgusting, so disturbing. One of the most disturbing ones yet. He just whines and they're coming after me. It's just like, shut up. Yeah, in addition to being a criminal fascist traitor, it's just like, shut up, you annoying, whiny person, you. Sheesh. But I also want to compare it to, sometimes I do the comparison videos. Okay, what is Trump saying? What is President Joe Biden saying? Those are very effective, and thank you for recommending that. But the other one I want to show you here is, okay, here's what Trump's saying. Here is what Trump's former White House lawyer is saying about Trump. Here's what Trump's former closest advisor, one of his closest advisors, Chris Christie, is saying about Trump. I think it's important to make those comparisons and show that the MAGA Republican base is just a cult, And people like Ty Cobb and Chris Christie, who by all accounts would be considered conservative, they're viewed by MAGA Republicans as rhinos. And then you get your Lauren Boebert walking on stage and I'm going rhino hunting. I'm hunting rhinoceros. I'm hunting for rhinos. Stupid. Marjorie Taylor Greene, when they're not fighting with each other and calling each other names, also calling people rhinos. It's not normal. We're not normalizing that behavior. We're calling it out together, folks. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. You know the new destination, MeidasTouch.com. Check us out, MeidasTouch.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Go to MeidasTouch.com now. Thanks.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.